There's no place like Dome. Virginia Tech headed on the road to start ACC play. We're set to face off against Syracuse, a team who we not only beat a season ago, but blew out in their building, 48-24. So you got to imagine the Orange have had this game circled on the calendar, aside from the fact that they as well are starting ACC play, but also they're looking to get revenge after we punked them in their own building in 2025. So in the last episode, we played against Maryland, and it was a wild game. We trailed 28-14 with maybe 6-7 minutes left to go, but we somehow tied it in regulation. Both teams missed potential game-winning kicks in the final 30 seconds, and then in overtime, we got the ball, kicked a field goal, and then got an interception to win it. Ace Morgan, our starting quarterback, got benched in the third quarter for true freshman Cam Kingsbury, who wasn't perfect. He got sacked 4 times. He missed some throws, but he led some big drives, including throwing for a pair of touchdowns. I think the biggest difference with the two quarterbacks is when Ace Morgan has been in there, he's been force-feeding Nazir Ismail, and to an extent it's worked because Ismail has been so good. But once we made the switch, we were able to get other guys a lot more involved. Look at someone like Xavier Bacon, for instance. He's second on the team in catches with 6. At least 4 of those, maybe 5, came in the very short stretch that Cam Kingsbury played. He had 4. So that kind of tells you how the two quarterbacks have been in terms of spreading the ball around. Dylan Chester for Maryland was accurate. He threw 3 touchdowns, but he was also picked off 3 times. Very timely turnovers by us. Elihu Gold with an early interception leading to a score. Justice Watkins at the end of the first half in the red zone. And then Nathan Grimes, the freshman linebacker, first career interception on the first play of overtime to walk it off for the Hokies, completing what was a very impressive comeback, bringing us back into the rankings at number 24. And unlike the start of this year, we're going to look to hold that ranking for a little bit more than, well, 1 week. Now that we're a quarter of the way through the year, we'll take a quick look at our team's stats and dissect where this team goes from here, and that starts at the quarterback position. Who are we going to start against Syracuse? Ace Morgan's played 2.5 games, and he's been adequate, I suppose. Cam Kingsbury's numbers across the board are just a little bit worse. Completion percentage, touchdown percentage at 6.7, sack rate, yards per attempt, QB rating. It's all worse, but all not by much. On the ground, Chris Mickens has been one of the most explosive running backs in the country. Only a few players have more 20-yard runs than he does. He's been an awesome addition through the portal. I do want to get these other backs more involved, though, especially Virgo, who's played pretty well this year. And then, of course, through the air, Nazir Ismail has been unguardable. He is 5th in the country in terms of receiving yards. He's 5th in terms of yards per game. He's in the mix in terms of the top guys in terms of touchdowns. And he's doing this while averaging 20 yards a catch. The problem is, nobody else on the receiving room has more than 7 receptions. Now, if Cam Kingsbury is the starter, I imagine the ball is going to be spread around more, given that he doesn't necessarily force it to Ismail as much. Rather, he looks for the others. The offensive line's been okay. Javon McLeod, the true freshman, has started the first 3 games of the year. I think we are going to go back to Brandon Lee, the redshirt senior. I just think he's a little bit more consistent and established. And then in the secondary, the defensive backs have been really good. All 5 of our key secondary starters already have interceptions this year. As a team last season, we had maybe, 8 interceptions. We already have 6 this year. Now, the pass rush has been inconsistent, although it was a little better last week. The linebackers have also been a little up and down, so I'm hoping for more consistency from the front 7, but the secondary's been amazing. So now it's decision time. Cam Kingsbury led the comeback against Maryland, and because of that, we're going to give him the start here in week 4. He's played 2 games so far this year. It doesn't seem like he's going to be redshirted. We are going to redshirt Javon McLeod for the time being, but Kingsbury will become the starter. He will have a short leash, just like Ace Morgan did, and if he struggles, I will not be afraid to make a switch. But I'm excited to see more of Cam Kingsbury, who we hope will be the long-term starter at the quarterback position. Elite development, obviously, we believe in the upside quite a bit. He will make his first career start in our team's first ACC game of the year against Syracuse. We started off really slow in conference play last year, and even though we finished the year off strong, I'm hoping to start a little bit faster today, especially given our next 2 games are against Miami and Clemson, who are 2 very good playoff caliber teams. So this feels like a really important game for us to get rolling. Syracuse is 2-0 so far this year. They beat an FCS team in week 1, had a bye in week 2, and then defeated Utah in week 3, a respectable non-conference opponent. Look at this schedule. Stanford, Miami, Alabama, Texas Tech, Clemson, and SMU all in 6 consecutive weeks. I thought our schedule was hard. That's insane. They'd be really lucky to win 2 of those games. Even that might be pushing it. So given that Syracuse is playing basically last year's college football playoff field in the second half of the year, this is also an especially important game for them, given that throughout their other matchups, it feels like they don't really have any margin for error. Syracuse returns a lot of their starters from last year, including senior quarterback Will Thurbert and running back Sam Plows, the highest rated player on the roster. We know he's dangerous. He's not the biggest, he's not the fastest, but he's a really smart, really patient runner. They've got a deep group of skill position guys otherwise. They've got a really strong secondary, a couple good players in the front 7 as well. I think there's going to be one big X factor for us in this game. I look at the receiving room. Obviously, we want Nazir Ismail to get the football, but I think the X factor is going to be Xavier Bacon, who seemed to be the guy that Cam Kingsbury was most comfortable throwing the ball to when we brought Kingsbury in the game last week. Bacon is going to be the regular slot receiver over Trevor Adams. And the biggest reason why I'm excited for him is that he played at Syracuse for 2 years. He was really good there as a sophomore, transferred to Georgia Tech for Lord knows what reason. Now finds himself here at Virginia Tech, where we think he has found a home, now getting a chance to go back to Syracuse and play against his former school. ACC play begins here in year number 2 of the Virginia Tech Dynasty here on EA College Football 26. And we're making a massive decision and a huge leap of faith by throwing in true freshman quarterback Cam Kingsbury, who will be making his first career start with the Hokies this afternoon. He played much of the second half against Maryland, helped us come back on the road, and I'm excited to see if he can keep the momentum from that game, as we will start off with the football. Mickens joins him in the backfield. He's been one of the top backs in the country in terms of efficiency through the first 3 games of the season. Kingsbury looks to throw it, has time, looking up the middle. It's Xavier Bacon. I told you we're going to call his name quite a bit, hopefully, today. His first catch against his former team. Second down now and about 8. It's an RPO, hauled in by Daniel Caffrey, the transfer from Iowa, with a big play past the 30. I expected more from Caffrey earlier through the season, but with Kingsbury in at quarterback, I think he's going to get the ball thrown his way, and we're really going to see why Virginia Tech coveted him out of the portal as the number 2 receiver behind Ishmael. Play action. Kingsbury tries to dance around and evade the pressure, but he cannot. Jimmy Catapano brings him down for the sack as we're looking at a 2nd down and 12. Kingsbury only lost 2 there. Joined by Virgo in the backfield, he gets it. Up the middle, Asheville Virgo fumbles the ball! And it's picked up by Virginia Tech. That was close. Luckily, the fumble would be reversed. Not that it's really going to matter because it's not that much of a difference of yards anyway. A nice hit, though, by Trace Emerald, the junior corner, the highest-rated player on the defense, and a kid who I think will be playing on Sundays in his future. Running the ball on 3rd and 8, it's Mickens. His first touch of the game, he gets a first down to the 15. We have shown a willingness to run the ball on 3rd and medium, even 3rd and long, because we trust Mickens to get us out of that spot. That really makes the defense potentially respect the run more, which opens up opportunities for the pass. Kingsbury under pressure goes short. It's Bacon inside the 5. Tries to get it into the end zone. He cannot, but he is stopped just shy at the 1. A really impressive opening drive by Kingsbury and company as he looks to punch it in and score. With Bacon in motion, Kingsbury keeps it, and he is in for a touchdown. Cam Kingsbury, his first career rushing score. What a start for the Hokies. A really efficient opening drive for the freshman as he completes 6 out of 7 passes for 62 yards and a rushing touchdown. Sam Plows on 3rd and 4, does not get it. Smoke Lewis brings him down. A 3 and out for the Hokie defense as we get it back on offense. About as picture perfect of an opening 5 minutes as you could have asked for. Mickens to the right side, loses yardage. Good job by the Syracuse defense. It's Ben Dexter, the senior linebacker, who makes the play. 2nd down and long now for the Hokies. Kingsbury looks to throw it, scans the field, and he is intercepted. What an awful read. Cesar Ringo's got it. Down the field with an entourage. He's going to beat Kingsbury and takes it all the way for a 57-yard pick six. A freshman mistake by Cam Kingsbury. That was absolutely an abysmal read. I mean, there's no way around it. He was trying to force it to Ishmael, who hasn't gotten the ball yet. I think he was expecting Ringo to play a little bit closer to the line of scrimmage, but since there were no receivers in the area, why wouldn't Ringo get closer to Ishmael? You're going to see some mistakes from this kid. I mean, he's just a year out of high school. It's not going to be perfect. Syracuse, though, ties the game up. We're going to have to go through the growing pains with this young man as he's sacked on second down by Manny Apple, the sophomore corner. And after a really impressive start on the opening drive, Kingsbury quickly is starting to struggle as he connects on third down for Bacon, who is shy at the 30. That's Apple with the tackle once again. And Syracuse gets the stop. They'll get it back. Thurbert on first down up the middle. It's caught. Syracuse looking to move the chains. They really haven't had it on offense at all for the most part. Trent Gator, the tight end, a true freshman, is the one who made the play. 2nd and 8. It's going to be a screen for Plows. And he's going nowhere. Corbin Roll beats his block and is there forcing a loss of about 4. 3rd down and 12 now at the 30 for the Orange. Plows in motion. He'll go to the right. Is it another screen? Surveying the field. Thurbert goes short. It's caught. Not going to be enough for a first down. Only a gain of 7. Colby Cook with the tackle. And it looks like Syracuse will attempt the field goal. Keke North, the junior. This one is from around, give or take, I'd say 42 yards out. It is good. And the Orange take the lead as it's now 10-7. So Virginia Tech gets it back. Really impressive opening drive. Last couple possessions, not so much, with a punt and an interception. On first down, here's Ashwell Virgo. He's going to get nothing. The run game, other than that one big 3rd down play by Mickens, has been kind of quiet so far. On 2nd down, Kingsbury steps up, scrambles. Here's a nice run as he slides past the 40. Brendan Lee, the right guard, is banged up on the play. And that'll end the first quarter. A 10-7 lead for Syracuse. Overall, I feel like we've been the better team. We've dominated time of possession. Our offense has looked a lot better than theirs. They only had 36 yards, and they only have 4 yards per play. But the interception in the pick six by Cesar Ringo was the difference. A freshman mistake by Cam Kingsbury as we move into the second quarter. Opening up with a big 3rd down and 7. Kingsbury by himself in the backfield and empty as he looks to throw it up the middle. Broken away. Nobody was open there. Phenomenal coverage by the Syracuse defense, and Virginia Tech is going to have to punt it away. The offense has gotten cold quickly. The honeymoon phase that started for Cam Kingsbury last week has died out pretty quickly. 3rd and 11. Thurbert, short throw is caught by Jalen Little, who's popped. Only for a gain of about 5. The best world brings him down. Virginia Tech gets it back. Let's see what the offense can do. 3 straight scoreless drives. Here's Mickens on the RPO. Outruns the defender. Has space to the left. There he goes. Mickens seems to be in for a couple big runs every week. Here's another one as he's got Virginia Tech eyeing the red zone. 2nd and 8 play action. Kingsbury on the run, looking to throw it. He'll keep it himself inside the 10. Out of bounds and around the 7. A good run for Cam Kingsbury, who's been pretty good on the ground. He's taken a couple of sacks, but he's had some nice scrambles. 2nd and goal. Mickens walks the red carpet untouched into the end zone for a touchdown, and the Hokies regain the lead. Much better drive, a couple of big runs from both Mickens and Cam Kingsbury, as it's now 14-10. Syracuse has it back, trailing. Their offense still really isn't giving them much. Again, the only touchdown is the pick six. Under pressure off the blitz, it's Corbin Roll in the backfield with a sack. The junior linebackers had a nice first half. Will Thurbert's going to feel that one tomorrow. 3rd down and 10 now for Syracuse. Thurbert looks to throw it, surveys the field, and he is popped again. That was Quincy Akindele, the redshirt senior, with the hit in the backfield. Hokies get it back, looking to add to the lead. Kingsbury by himself in the backfield on first down as he goes up the middle. His number 1 target, Xavier Bacon, stumbling forward for a first down. 4 catches, 48 yards already for Bacon. And for reference, I think Nazir Ishmael has caught it maybe once so far. Bacon continues to be the go-to guy for Kingsbury as he hands it off for Mickens with a spin move. And Mickens is a little dinged up. That's not good. He missed some time last week against Maryland. He was able to tough it out, especially at the end of the game when we really needed him. But the last thing we want is for Mickens, who's the engine of the offense, to be hurt throughout the year, much like Mark Armstrong was last season. On 2nd and 4, Kingsbury up the middle. It's Baker again. Breaking tackles, nearing the red zone. Baker continues his impressive start. He's got well over half of Cam Kingsbury's passing production in this game. Cabrera in at running back, play action. Kingsbury on the run, looking for Ishmael. It's overthrown. He was wide open. Ishmael has consistently had that much separation throughout the year. Cam's got to make the throw. On 3rd down, Mickens back in the game, and he gets nothing. Might have lost a yard there. Good job by the Syracuse defense. That'll bring out the field goal team. It's the freshman, K.C. Swinger from 35. Made and missed a pair of big kicks last week, as it is good. Swings it through the uprights. Get it? No? Okay. It's 17-10 with a little over 2 minutes to go in the first half. So a 2-minute drill for Will Thurbert and Syracuse, looking to potentially tie the game. Their offense still really has not moved it at all throughout this game. As Thurbert is sacked, Emmanuel DeRougy, the Central Michigan transfer, makes the play. On 2nd and 17, Thurbert is sacked again by K1 Stewart. As there's an injury on the field, that's Leon Cashman, the Georgia State transfer. We have 4 sacks as a team so far by 4 different players. The pass rush looks a lot better than they have been throughout the course of the year. 3rd down and very long for Syracuse. Thurbert nearly sacked again. His pass is broken up, incomplete. Mitch Myrie in the secondary got a hand on it, and Virginia Tech's going to have a golden opportunity to make it a 2-score game. Some trickery for the tight end Stesko, and it does not work at all as he loses like 4. So the drive quickly stalls for Virginia Tech. Syracuse now gets it back. 2 timeouts, 39 seconds. RPO for Plows, up the middle, breaks a tackle. Plowing his way through the defense. Look at him go. Gets the first down. Syracuse is now going to try to get something here. I think originally they were just going to run out the clock there. But with the first down, they feel like maybe they can do something. Here is Thurbert, dances around. He's going to scramble. He's got room. Will Thurbert slides for the first. Orange use their 2nd timeout. Down to 20 seconds now. Thurbert calls a switch at the line. Looks to throw it. Thurbert will go short. It's hauled in for a first down and more. Out of bounds is Jalen Little. And that will stop the clock at 14 seconds, now at the 45. Thurbert under pressure. Sacked again. DeRougy, his 2nd. They're out of timeouts now. They just used their last one. 2nd and 20, 10 seconds to go. Thurbert looks to throw it. Goes short. Big hit. Nice catch, but a big hit by Smoke Lewis on the reception by Jeff Ferguson, and that'll wrap up the first half. 17-10, Virginia Tech with the lead. I feel like the offense has left quite a bit to be desired. Kingsbury looked good early, then he had the really bad interception. I wouldn't say he's been great so far. He's been pretty adequate, 12 of 17, 112 yards with the pick. Mickens has been pretty good, 10 for 59 in his score. Xavier Bacon continues to be the go-to guy for Kingsbury, 5 catches, 62 yards, while Ishmael only has 1 reception for 6 yards. I think the big story needs to be our defense. Syracuse has less than 100 yards of offense. Will Thurbert is 9 of 13 for 58 passing yards, and as a team, they're averaging 2.5 yards per carry. Granted, that's largely because of sacks. To start the 3rd, big play for Syracuse to open up. They needed that one. A gain of 30 for Mac Lennon. Longest play of the game for the Orange. Thurbert under pressure. It's Plows on 3rd down. He only gets 4. So despite the big play, they're still going to have to punt the ball. Virginia Tech with another stop defensively. That's Nathan Grimes, the hero from the game against Maryland last week. As we've got it back on offense. 3rd down and 3. Virgo, the running back in the backfield. It's 6 and 7. It's Virgo. He does not get it. Syracuse with the stop. So that'll force a punt. And the Orange get it back as our offense continues to play a very pedestrian game. Thurbert looks to throw it. He gets hit hard. He's got Plows with a first down. Launches a defender, and there he goes. What a play by Sam Plows. A gain of 26 yards. A phenomenal job there after the catch. He sent Justice Watkins to the shadow realm as he's got it again on 3rd down, and he loses a yard Corbin Roll brings him down. He's had a great game, maybe the best of his career so far. And that'll make it 4th and 3, around a 35-yarder for Syracuse. The kick is up, and it is good for Kiki North. And that'll make it 17-13. Even though Syracuse's offense hasn't played very well so far, we're only up by 4. We've got to build a little bit more of a lead. We need more from the offense. Play action. Kingsbury scrambles. He's got Ishmael. Nice grab. Good to see him getting involved. As much as I like that Kingsbury spreads the wealth around, Nazir Ishmael is still very much the #1 receiver on the team, and he still needs to get the ball more than a couple times a game. 3rd down and 2. Kingsbury steps up, scrambles, has the first. Kingsbury at around the 40. Really nice maneuver by the freshman, who continues to impress me as a runner. I didn't know he had this type of ability with his legs. He's got the curl route on 3rd down. It's caught by Ahmad Slayton for the 1st down. And all of a sudden, it seems like Kingsbury is starting to get back into that groove that he really hasn't been in since the opening drive. On 1st down, Cabrera's got it with a couple blocks to the left. Cabrera now inside the red zone, nearing the 15. Cabrera and Virgo getting most of the touches at running back. Chris Mickens still getting checked on the sideline. Kingsbury rolls out on 1st down, looking for someone to get open. He's got Ishmael into the end zone for a touchdown. Nazir Ishmael has scored in all 4 games this year. Touchdown number 5 overall. A big drive and a big score for Virginia Tech. It puts them back up by 2 scores, and it re-gives us the momentum. Late in the 3rd, Thurbert's got time. Down the field, it's caught! A huge play for the Orange. It's Trent Gator who gets 44, launches Watkins away. He's had a couple of embarrassing plays, Justice Watkins trying to tackle in this 3rd quarter. 24-13 going into the 4th. I really liked what I saw on that last offensive drive. I thought that was one of Cam Kingsbury's best possessions of the game. Defense continuing to play well, but we're starting to allow some splash plays through the air. A 30-yarder for Mac Lennon, a 44-yarder for Trent Gator. Both of those guys are tight ends. They're not necessarily the players you would expect to stretch the field. To start the 4th, 3rd and 9. Thurbert looks to throw it, and it is incomplete in the area of Corbin Roll, and they're going to have to go for the field goal here. They could rationalize going for it, but a field goal does make it a 1-score game. Kiki North is 3 for 3, and the lead is within 8, as it's 24-16. Virginia Tech gets it back. It is a 1-score game, but we are up by a full 8 points. There is Cabrera to the left of Kingsbury. To the right is the freshman fullback Nick Morris, as that one is hauled in. Daniel Caffrey with a juke move. Tries to make the second guy miss. He cannot, but he gets around 20. Really nice play there by Caffrey, showing us some impressive ability after the catch. We haven't really gotten him in space yet, so that's certainly good to see. 3rd down and 3 with Cabrera in motion. Kingsbury looks to throw it, and he is sacked. Syracuse with a gigantic stop. Christian Vigil and Tyler Forbath, couple of freshman defensive tackles, bring him down. Syracuse has it back. What a play! Omani Hicken in the backfield, reads it immediately, and Plows loses like 5. 3rd down and 12 now. Plows gets the ball, and we sniff it out quickly. Colby Cook and Elion Cashman bring him down. Plows has 15 carries for 35 yards. That's not good, especially considering Maryland averaged like 8 yards a carry against us last week. This is the total opposite. Our run defense has gone from 0 to 100. On 1st down, here's Virgo to the outside with a juke move. A big run for Ashwill Virgo. His longest play of the year. It goes for 26. And in place of Chris Mickens, who still has not come back to the game, Virgo has been the guy who's really stepped up for us at the running back position. He kind of seems to be the RB2 for this team behind Cabrera. Keontae Trice-Taylor in at running back. Play action. Kingsbury on the run. He cannot escape. Another sack for Syracuse. All aboard the pain train. Syracuse has like 5 sacks in this game as Kingsbury scrambles for a solid gain of around 6. Not enough for the 1st down, though. We are going to kick the field goal. 45-yarder for KC Swinyer, who made one earlier, I think also from 45, as his kick is good. Swinyer 2 for 2, and it's a 2-score game again, 27-16. Syracuse still does not have an offensive touchdown Again, their only trip in the end zone was the pick six. Well, they're going to need one, you would think, at some point, as Plows gets the first, stumbling backwards, but he does get enough yards to keep the chains moving for Syracuse. They've got to be mindful of the clock as well, now trailing by multiple possessions. Plows gets it, and we sniff it out fast. Royland Mathis, he's been quiet in this game, but the sophomore is there with the TFL. 2nd and 12. Thurbert up the middle. It's caught. Jalen Little with a first down, nearing the 45. Syracuse is moving it a little bit, but their issue really has been past the 50 in the red zone. They haven't been able to punch it in. As Plows gets the first down, now on 3rd down, it's overthrown. Good coverage by Mitch Myrie. That ball was in the area of Jalen Duke. It's a 44-yard field goal try now for Kiki North, who's 3 for 3 so far from the right hash. It is good, never a doubt. So Syracuse again takes the points, makes it a one-possession game. Let's see if the offense can chew some clock and seal the deal. We're hoping to get Chris Mickens back on the field at some point this drive. It will not be here on first down, as Cabrera doesn't get much. The Orange already using their timeouts. Nashville Virgo now in it, running back on 2nd and 10. He gets it. Virgo to the right side with a juke move. Breaks his ankles. Fighting for yardage. He gets the first down. What a run by Asheville Virgo. Syracuse calls timeout number 2. Virgo gets it again with more space. Probably should have cut up the middle, but he still gets around 7. And now he's hurt. Lovely. That also stops the clock, which is, again, not good. Now a 3rd down and 3. One timeout. Kingsbury looks to throw it. Dances around the pocket. Scans the field. Looks to run. He's got the first. Sliding past the 50. But there is a flag. Holding on the center, Scott Heitman. First down does not count and will be pushed back to a 3rd down and 13 at our own 33. Who will be in at running back here? It's going to be Trice Taylor. No Virgo or no Mickens in the time being. As Kingsbury looks to throw it, scrambles under pressure, and he overthrows Trevor Adams. So Syracuse does what they need to do. They get the stop. Down by 8. Touchdown and a 2-point conversion tie it. Thurbert up the middle. Wide open. Good start to the drive, and that'll bring us to the 2-minute timeout. It's Brett Klutz who gets 22. Following play for Syracuse at the 44. Thurbert looks to throw it. Down the field. It's caught. It's another big play for the Orange offense. Trent Gator, the tight end. They've got it inside the 35. Thurbert looks to run with it. Another first down inside the 20. And Thurbert gets Syracuse into the red zone. He's sacked, though, on first down by Corbin Roll, and Thurbert is hurt. This is where Syracuse has struggled. They haven't been able to finish out their drives, and it won't help that they have to bring in a backup. George Carden from Staten Island, New York, is in at quarterback. 2nd and 17, it's a screen. Hoping to get Plows in space. Not really. He's hurt as Omani Hicken delivers a big hit, and that'll make it now a 3rd down and 15 for Syracuse. They can't settle for a field goal this time. Carden surveys the field. He's got an open man short. That's what he's going to do. Trying to set up a manageable 4th down. Solid little play there for Robbie Whitmore. They're going to hurry up. 4th and 10. No timeouts. Around 40 seconds left. Game on the line with the backup quarterback in. George Carden looks to throw it. Under pressure. Pocket collapses. And he is sacked. Braylon White. He's hurt, but he ends the game. And Virginia Tech will hold on to an ugly win. 27-19. We are 1-0 in ACC play. Cam Kingsbury 1-0 as a starter. Certainly was not perfect. At times, it was actually pretty bad for the freshman quarterback. He played well enough. He completed 64% of his throws at a passing and rushing touchdown. Now he's got some stuff to clean up. That interception towards the end of the first quarter, that was brutal. That was a horrible decision. But he had some good drives. He had some good throws together. I definitely want him to get Nazir Ishmael the ball more. I think Ishmael ended up with 4 catches in this game. That's just not enough for a player of his caliber. If we play like this on offense over the next 2 weeks, it's hard to imagine we'll beat either Miami or Clemson. But I thought we showed some good things on that side of the ball. The defense, though, is really who won it for us. Syracuse did not score an offensive touchdown. They had to settle for field goals 5 separate times. They were 2 for 13 on 3rd down. Granted, we were not much better on 3rd downs. Kingsbury finishes 18 of 28, 189 yards, touchdown and a pick. A lot of work to do, 6.7 yards per pass. It is his first ever start. He's a true freshman. I'm willing to give him time on the ground. Mickens was banged up. He missed most of the second half, but he was solid. Asheville Virgo, though, was the best of our backs. He had 8 for 63. Through the air, Bacon leads the way, 5 catches, 62 yards. Good to see Xavier Bacon playing well. 4 for 48 and a score for Ishmael. 3 for 54 for Caffrey. I still want Ishmael to be the clear leader in targets, the clear go-to guy, given that he is our best receiver. And I also want to get Jack Stesko, the tight end, more involved. He's been really quiet through 4 games. Offensive line was meh. They were average, I would say. And then the defense was great. Corbin Roll, whoa, holy cow. 6 TFLs and 2 sacks. Best game of his career. He was the best player on the field, constantly making plays. He was awesome. Emmanuel DeRougie had 2 sacks. White had the one to finish off the game along with Kawan Stewart. We didn't force any turnovers this week. That's been one of our defense's calling cards, but I thought the secondary still played pretty well for the most part. And then Casey Swinger made all his kicks. As for Syracuse, Will Thurbert was not good early. Definitely better in the second half where he had like 250 passing yards. But they still couldn't score a touchdown, even with all that yardage. Plows, 2.7 yards a pop. Run defense looked a whole lot better than they did a week ago. Syracuse as well, spreading it around. Gator had 89 yards, Little had 8 catches. Their offensive line, though, was a train wreck. We dominated them up front. And then defensively, I don't think they were too bad. I don't think the defense is the reason why they lost the game. They did allow 27 points, but they also had the pick 6 from Cesar Ringo. They had 5 sacks. I thought their run defense played pretty well, minus a couple of big runs by Mickens, Virgo, and Kingsbury, but those even were on design passing plays. So let's take a look at the slate here in week 4. This is where conference play really starts to get real. We still have some good non-con games across the nation. We've also got plenty of in-conference matchups starting away. Our slate of games includes Penn State USC as true freshman quarterback Bugs Vitelli the real deal. Memphis, Nebraska. I'm really curious to see how Memphis looks. I think they look like the best group of 5 team right now. Let's see how they fare on the road against a ranked team in the Big Ten. And then ECU, Oregon. I think the Pirates could give the Ducks some trouble. Corbin Roll wins the AFC Defensive Player of the Week as we start off in Lincoln, Nebraska. Is Memphis truly the group of 5 team to beat? With USF losing pretty badly last week to NC State, the Tigers are currently the highest ranked group of 5 team. Now's their chance to show it they're for real, and the answer we get is a resounding yes. On the road against a very good Nebraska team, Ariane Igwebuike and the Tigers win it 35-30, and right now, the group of 5 playoff field runs through Memphis. Now, Iggy did not have the best game throwing the ball. He was picked off twice. He was very inefficient as a runner, but he made big plays when he needed to, and his team around him was really solid. True freshman Chaz Carrington throws 4 scores. Tamario Harold only got the ball 12 times. That is not enough. Next up, we head to Vanderbilt. Oklahoma lost last week against Clemson. Wyatt Cruz, their quarterback, has been up and down this year. That's been the issue with him throughout his career, consistency. But when he's on, he sometimes looks the part of a first-round pick, and that included his performance here against Vanderbilt. Oklahoma bounces back. They win 47-17. Games like this could lead Wyatt Cruz to going in the first round. It'll be an interesting discussion, but he threw 5 touchdowns. He was pretty accurate. No interceptions, no sacks, no negative plays. That's a big deal. If he can have more games like this, he certainly will be in the first round discussion very quickly. Sophomore running back Sean Burris with 180 yards. He's turned into a really good player for this OU team. As for Vanderbilt, the senior, Jimothy Fontaine, was not great. Picked off twice, a guy who I kind of see as a day 3 prospect. Certainly didn't help his case in this one. Next up, we head to Texas. The Longhorns, ranked number 20, set to face off against the Arkansas Razorbacks. And I think we can have a similar conversation that we just had about Wyatt Cruz with the Texas quarterback Bryce Carver. I think Carver is a lot more consistent and probably better right now than Wyatt Cruz is, but a guy who I think could really elevate his stock if he plays well, and so far this year he's been great. 48-27, your final. The Longhorns with the win. They improved to 3-1. Looking at it for Arkansas, Jerobold Hannock was not great. He only completed 54% of his throws For 91 overall, you're hoping you can get a little more production. A guy in Hannock who was the top quarterback in the portal, but then returned to Arkansas, where he was last year and played fairly well a season ago. Bryce Carver, meanwhile, 74%, 2 touchdowns. He looked like a guy who could make a case to be a first-round pick this year. He played a great game, and I'm curious to see if this can continue for him in a fairly open quarterback class. Number 5, Tennessee hosts the Aggies of Texas A&M, and this game was a blowout, as you would expect early on. Tennessee up 31-7 at the break, and then something shifted. The Aggies in the second half outscoring Tennessee 25-0 would storm back and get the upset, 32-31. Certainly one of the biggest upsets, I would say, of the season so far. Tennessee dropping all the way to number 22. Senior quarterback Kawari Fisher left a bad taste in my mouth after his horrible performance in the playoff game last year, and I was ready to go off on him. But he got injured. He broke his thumb. He'll be out for 2 weeks. So he's not at fault for the choke at all. If anything, it's because he was not out there on the field, but instead the freshman Kwabena Ozugawu, who was not great. I mean, statistically, he wasn't horrible, but for you to be the quarterback and the offense not score anything in the second half against the defense who allowed more than 50 points last week against Alabama is not a great look. This team spent all that money in the transfer portal. There's no excuse for Tennessee to lose a game that they were up by 24 at home against a far worse opponent. Tylan Evans with 2 scores leading the comeback for Texas A&M. They go up to 2-2, and all of a sudden they've got life after a slow start this year. Next up, we head to Eugene. The Oregon Ducks facing off against the ECU Pirates. This could be a trap game for Oregon. ECU's obviously got a good quarterback in Julian Hero, and this ended up being one of the most fun games of the week, but the Ducks would avoid the upset in Eugene, 28-26, keeping the undefeated season going as they move up to number 12. Julian Hero was not great. We'll get to see Hero in a few weeks after our tough stretch against Miami and Clemson. This East Carolina offense is certainly super talented, even with Hero not playing as well as he did a year ago. Rowan Phoebe, the transfer from Washington State, throws for 3 scores, 2 of which were caught by Zach Spitzer, the redshirt senior. And then the game of the week, and probably the biggest game of the year so far. Number 6 USC hosting number 10 Penn State is the true freshman Bugs Vitelli for real. I mean, maybe he is, but he didn't show it today. The Trojans, who went undefeated last year in the regular season, reminded everybody why they are the team to beat in the Big Ten. They blow out Penn State 51-27. Bugs Vitelli's played really well this year, but now against a real team, picked off 3 times, sacked 3 times. He's a true freshman. He'll get his chance to get this one back, but certainly a coming down-to-earth moment for the standout young quarterback. USC, meanwhile, propelling themselves back into the conversation of a Tier 1 playoff contender. Jackson Jackson, the junior, played really well. 350 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jalir Jean, the freshman running back, 9 yards of pop, and he scored twice. And then through the air, Matthew Thurth, 14 catches for 179 yards and a score. Big win for the Trojans. They showed me a lot in this game. As we take a look at some other scores, Middle Tennessee State blows out a solid Eastern Michigan team. The Blue Raiders be one of the top group of 5 threats this year, despite losing all of their key players in the portal. If they had kept their portal guys, I think they'd be right up there in the conversation with Memphis. Notre Dame takes care of business. South Florida back on the win column. Alabama, Georgia, SMU, they all win. Great game from Tyree Wells, and then the top defensive player in the portal, Squaron Williams, coming from Middle Tennessee State to SMU, had 3 interceptions. Yet he didn't win the Player of the Week. Corbin Roll did in the ACC. Texas Tech is 4-0, low-scoring win for Stanford, and then Arizona State puts up 77. I've got to see this box score. Believe it or not, they only had 1 passing touchdown from Ezekiel Pantaleon, but they had 10 touchdowns on the ground. Colin Sears, their starting running back, had 4. Mac Fronte, the backup running back, had 4. Nick Reyna, the third-string running back, had 3. Louisville puts up 69. I think Louisville's a team we're going to talk a lot about this year. Judah Hudson has broken out this season. He had a great game, granted against an FCS team, but he's a guy who I think is going to propel himself possibly into NFL draft discussions this year. Boston College back on the win column. Virginia beats a good Louisiana Tech team. Duke scores 47. I don't know if they scored 47 points all year last season. Their offense all of a sudden is like kind of good out of nowhere. Florida back on the win column. They beat Missouri 31-21. Good win for a young Gators team who kind of needed it after a tough start. UMass without Mickens beats Western Michigan. Auburn blows out South Carolina. Good win for the Tigers and their young group. Moving down the board a little bit, Kansas over UConn, rock chalk. Otherwise, no major results here in week 4. I guess Minnesota over Rutgers. I believe that said Minnesota's 4-0. Maybe they'll be a team to watch out for in the Big Ten. And then Iowa beats UAB in a high-scoring game. So there were no additions or subtractions to the top 25. It's the same group of teams. Now, obviously, the order has changed a little bit. Top 4 remains the same. Everybody else is moving, with Tennessee and Penn State dropping out of the top 10. We move up one spot from number 24 all the way up to number 23. As for the players of the week, the national... Whoa, look at this. We're in second place in the ACC. If the season ended today, we'd be in the conference title. Players of the week, Brady Bresee and Quincy McGinn, who had 3 interceptions himself, but apparently 3 picks is not enough for Square and Williams to win it in the ACC. Instead, it's Corbin Roll along with Judah Hudson. As for the Heisman, quiet game for Amir Anthony, but he still holds the lead. Bryce Carver of Texas into second. Parker Zasco, the SMU receiver, in third. He's the Mustang representative over Tyree Wells. And then Denny Love and Galeo Barron drop a little bit. Love had his worst game of the year. Not that that says a whole lot. And Galeo Barron and Ole Miss had a bye week. But they play Georgia this week. That's a big game. I'm going to be super fascinated to see how Barron, coming over from Middle Tennessee State, looks like against a defense like Georgia. Ole Miss has got a great offense, though. I think they've got a good chance. A lot of exciting games in Week 5. A lot of top 25 matchups, including our game as we host number 4, 3-0, Miami. I think the 2 words I would describe for this game would be good luck, because they are a 99 overall. They've already scored 65 twice. They're coming off a bye week, and their schedule is really easy. They do play Clemson and Stanford, but they're at home for both of those games. Their only tough road matchup is against us. I think Louisville and Florida State could give them some trouble, but they're probably a touchdown plus favorite in all of their remaining games this year. They've got a great roster. They returned their quarterback from last year, Graham Glikowski. This is certainly the best team on the schedule. Now, that doesn't mean they had the best chance of winning the title. I think a guy like Tyree Wells really elevates SMU. But roster for roster, Miami's going to be the best overall group that we see this year. They might be the best overall roster in the country. So we are certainly going to have our hands full. That'll wrap up the episode. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Peace out.